Hey guys, it's Kayceeanne. I just really quickly want to say a couple things that will never be okay with me. I was on Facebook today and not that long ago, and for some reason, Facebook decides that there's no such thing as a report button, pretty much. Maybe it's just me, and maybe other people have reported accounts and it's worked. But I have reported a couple of channels that were on there, like this one um, Facebook page called Channel, and it was very triggering. And I'll explain why it was triggering. So, what this page posts, like what they post in general, always has to do with drugs, alcohol, self harm, nudity, sex, etc. I don't need to go into detail. Now, the post that I had reported was of a girl, and she was wearing underwear. I don't know if they were like cheekies or a thong. I didn't show the back, but it was just your regular like V underwear. And all over her hands, there's blood, and on her legs and her stomach, there's like gashes. Um, and then there's a razor blade in one hand, and that will never be okay with me. Like, I don't know what you're trying to do here when you post stuff like that, but that will never ever be okay with me. I don't think it should be okay for Facebook to allow, because it does go against their guidelines, their rules. And when I've reported the account, it has always messaged me back saying that the account that I have reported does not go against the guidelines. And it has, because you're not allowed to post about self-harm. You're not allowed to post about drugs and alcohol, but kids do it all the time. And that channel specifically, that like page, always does it. And I have like a couple friends on Facebook that like the piercing parts of there, and some where there's just weed or drinking or something. I'm not like friends with them. Just don't worry about that. I don't do that stuff. But um they repost or like reshare a picture of nipple piercings when you can actually see the full breast and the nipple itself, rather than just being the shirt where you can see the indents of the bar in the nipple. Um that's still nudity. And I've reported a couple of them. I don't report like every single one I see, because I don't want to be that person that's like a troll that's just like, oh, you shouldn't be posting this or whatever. However, the only ones that I'll always like report will be the self-harm ones, because I am recovering from it and it's triggering and I don't want to see that. Um Now, Facebook always tells me, oh, well, if you want to report this person, like, just unfollow this person or unfriend whoever, shared it. And it's like, I don't want to unshare them because they don't always post this stuff. But I want this account, this channel Facebook page, I want to report it, and I don't want it up there. And I've been like this close to calling Facebook's like headquarters and basically just telling them like either delete it, or I don't know what I'm gonna do, but I'm gonna like report this account, and it's gonna go to like the police, because there's girls on there that are like real people, and they're real cuts, and there's blood dripping from them, and they're burning cigarettes into their wrists, and they're walking around naked while their legs are gushing blood, and it's disgusting. That's just disgusting. And that to me is just not okay to post. And I don't know why girls seem to share it. It's always been girls that are sharing it. So if you're a guy and you're sharing it, knock it off. If you're a girl and sharing that, literally stop. Because I know for me, when I was first recovering, I'm 6 months clean of cutting. Um, just recently on the 26th, I was 6 months. So when I was first recovering, so it was about a month in, I think, a month or two in, and I saw one of these girls on the picture on the page. She had a bra and panties on, and her wrists were slit open. There were words carved into her arm. She was holding a razor blade between her lips. And she had her, like, legs all just bloody and shredded. And it looked absolutely horrific. It looked like a murder scene happened, like, on her body. Like, there was just blood all over the place. I reported that, that picture, specifically that picture, because I didn't know anything about the page itself. But when I went and scrolled through what this, like, page was, I was, just pretend this is like a tablet or a phone. I was literally scrolling and just kept going and going and going and going, and it never ended. And all it was like drugs, girls snorting crack off of each other's backs. There's men doing like body shots. There was girls that are naked, completely naked, having sex with other girls, or other guys were having orgies or threesomes. It's like, what even is this? Like, little kids are on this social media. It happens on Instagram too. There are girls that will constantly, and like boys, I think I've never really seen a boy do it. I've only seen a couple of girls do it. And I've actually reported their account and sent them, like, I DM'd them suicide hotlines and mental hospital hotlines, because, like, their numbers and their emails, because I was freaking out. These girls had gashes that were like this big on their wrists, and I was just like, I was stunned. So if you're posting stuff like that, please stop. Like, I know you're going to say, well, then don't look at it. I'm not trying to. I'm not just going to unfriend that person because they shared something with a nipple on it. That's not the type of person I am. I don't care if there's someone drinking or smoking a cigarette or their nipples hanging out. However, if you're posting self-harm stuff, stop. If you really need help, get help a different way, because you're triggering every other person who's trying to recover from that stuff. I remember seeing that picture and I wanting to cut so bad, and I couldn't, because I told myself I wasn't going to do this anymore. I prayed to God, and I told him, like, please, like, walk with me while I go through this journey without harming my body. So I haven't touched a blade since then. But I wanted to, and that's not okay. That will never be okay with me. And that shouldn't be okay with their parents. Like, why aren't your parents doing something about it? Because these are obviously teen girls. And I think parents should just be more involved with their social media. Apparently, that's just, like, gonna have to be, like, a rule or something. Because I can't bear it. I just can't stand it. It sickens me and it saddens me, and I want to help all of those girls and those boys who are posting their self-harm online. But it's not something to promote. Your self-harm, whether it be drinking, drugs, smoking cigarettes, cutting yourself, starving yourself, that's not something you should promote online. If you're doing a recovery picture, so one from when you were like anorexic or something, and your now recovery page and like what you look like now from then, that's a completely different thing. In my opinion, it's just completely different, because you're recovering from that and you look freaking amazing and you've overcome that. But if you're going to continuously post about anorexia, or you're cutting yourself all over your body and clearly there's blood still everywhere, you can't have social media. Like, you really don't need one. Because it's disgusting. I cut, and I cut bad, and I still to this day, because I'm recovering, I can't handle the look of it. It makes my stomach turn, and it makes my heart ache, and I want to reach out and ask the people, hey, are you okay? Do you need someone? Do you need help? Like, can I help you with anything? But I know that they're just doing it to seek attention, and they're asking for like negative comments, and it really bugs me and it bothers me, and that will just never be okay with me. That channel should not be up. Those channels on Instagram where there's self-harm constantly everywhere should not be up. You should not be promoting your self-harm like that. If you are desperate and you need help, then go get it. Go get it. Tell a cop. Tell a therapist. Go into your school or into your work and say, I am breaking and I just need help. Because you promoting your self-harm like that, you are putting others at risk as well. Maybe someone that you just posted that picture, that person that saw it, was recovering and they cut because it was so triggering to the point where they just felt the need to do so. You just striked up their bad habit again. Their addiction has just strung off the walls again. And all for what? Because you want the views? You want the attention? You want the followers? The subscribers? I don't know. No. Knock it off with that promoting your self-harm bullcrap. Saying, oh, just cutting it again today. Or, oh, I want to cut so bad today. And then you have a whole bottle of alcohol, like Fireball, and your freaking wrist is bleeding. And you've got a cigarette in your mouth. Knock it off. Stop. Stop doing that. That's all I have to say. I rant over. I wish that stuff didn't exist. I wish self-harm didn't exist. I wish it wasn't like trendy or popular. I wish it wasn't a thing. I wish it never happened. And it sucks because people still do it. And I know that people still do it. And it saddens me. It really does. And I just hope that you guys will stop promoting that stuff. I'm going to go. I love you guys. I'm going to clean and do some chores and stuff. But yeah. I'm going to make a schedule today. So I'll talk to you guys later. Maybe. Peace out.